Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into one of the most chaotic, controversial, and honestly unsettling stories to ever hit the AI world, because we might be looking at the first AI-orchestrated cyber attack at global scale, or the biggest industry-wide bluff the AI world has seen in years, and the center of the storm is Anthropic, their Claude models, and a wave of accusations that have split researchers, security experts, and even top AI scientists right down the middle. Before we dive deeper into the story, I want to remind you to kindly subscribe to this channel and click on the bell icon. We have just crossed the 500 mark and your support will take me to 1,000 soon. Now back to the story, so let's break down what actually happened, why everyone from big tech to nation states is now getting dragged into it, and how this entire saga is exposing some hard truths about the future of AI-powered hacking and the politics behind it. This whole thing started when Anthropic announced something massive. They said cybersecurity has officially hit an inflection point, not one of those vague marketing inflection points, but a real shift where AI models have become operational tools for both defense and offense. And they weren't just talking about theory. They claimed China's state-sponsored hacking groups used Anthropic's own AI technology to automate intrusions into major corporations and multiple governments during a campaign in September. And Anthropic didn't stop there. They said their own safeguards team caught criminals on their platform running a large-scale data extortion scheme powered entirely by Claude. The way they described it, this wasn't just some kid trying prompt injections. They're saying a whole extortion pipeline, something that normally takes a team of people, was being run by a single operator using Claude as the engine. That's when the red flags started going off. Because according to Anthropic, the trend has been building all year. They said their models are doubling their cyber capabilities every 6 months. Claude has already been tested in cybersecurity competitions and even outperformed humans in some categories. And internally, it has apparently been catching vulnerabilities in Anthropic's own systems before engineers ship updates. But buried inside that research was the real headline, a mid-September operation that Anthropic called one of the most sophisticated espionage campaigns ever attempted with AI. They said the attacker wasn't using AI just as a helper but as the executor of the entire operation. The threat actor, who Anthropic claims with high confidence was a Chinese state-sponsored group, used Claude code to attempt infiltration across 30 global targets and succeeded in a few, and we aren't talking random companies. These were massive tech firms, financial giants, chemical manufacturers, and several government agencies. According to Anthropic, this could be the first documented case of a cyber attack run nearly start to finish with almost no human involvement. But this is exactly where the controversy exploded. Before we get into the pushback, here's how Anthropic says the operation actually worked. They said the attack relied on AI capabilities that didn't even exist a year ago. First was general intelligence, models understanding context deeply enough to follow complex multi-stage instructions. Second was agency, the ability to run in loops, take autonomous actions, chain tasks, and operate with only occasional human guidance. And third was tool access, because with model context protocol, models can now use password crackers, scanners, and all sorts of cyber utilities that used to be strictly human operated. Phase 1 was all human. The attackers picked their targets, then built an autonomous attack framework using Claude code. And to get Claude to cooperate at all, they jailbroke it, breaking the attack into small, innocent-looking tasks, so Claude wouldn't detect the malicious intent. They even convinced Claude it was an employee at a cybersecurity firm running defensive audits. Once bypassed, Claude scanned the target org systems, mapped infrastructure, and identified their highest-value databases. Anthropic says tasks that take human hacking teams hours were completed in minutes. Next, Claude started generating and testing exploit code. It harvested credentials, expanded lateral access, and exfiltrated large volumes of sensitive data. It categorized that data by intelligence value, located high-privilege accounts, set up backdoors, and performed extraction with minimal oversight. Then in the final phase, Claude documented everything, every compromised system, every stolen credential, the entire operational blueprint, so the attackers could use it for future campaigns. According to Anthropic, the AI executed 80 to 90% of the attack. Humans only stepped in 4 to 6 times across the entire campaign. And during peak activity, Claude was firing thousands of requests, sometimes multiple per second, a pace human hackers simply cannot match. Anthropic also noted that the model hallucinated at times, inventing credentials or exaggerating discoveries. For them, this was evidence we aren't at the point of fully autonomous AI cyberattacks yet. But the real spark that lit this wildfire came from outside, because as soon as Anthropic published their findings, some of the most respected names in AI and cybersecurity basically said, none of this adds up. First up was Yann LeCun, Turing Award winner, Meta's chief AI scientist, and one of the godfathers of AI. After a US senator shared concern about Anthropic's findings, LeCun fired back publicly, saying outright that people were being manipulated by companies trying to monopolize the industry through regulation. His exact words were, "You're being played. They are scaring everyone with dubious studies so open source models get regulated out of existence." Other experts piled on. Jeremy Howard joked that the whole thing sounded like a lobbying play. Arnaud Bertrand asked Claude itself to analyze Anthropic's claim about Chinese state sponsorship, and Claude said there was no evidence. Security researchers were even harsher. Many said the report felt like a PR stunt. Claude is so advanced even hackers rely on it. Others compared it to those old PlayStation 2 rumors about countries buying consoles to build supercomputers. One cybersecurity CEO said bluntly that none of this would pass professional review. No indicators of compromise, no technical specifics, no domain names, no hashes, nothing actionable for defenders. For a threat intelligence report, that's a massive red flag. Some researchers pointed out that Anthropic said 30 organizations were targeted but only a small number were breached. If AI was doing 90% of the heavy lifting and still barely succeeding, how transformative was this really? Others noted that the attack relied on common open-source tools, things defenders can already detect easily. Nothing in the report suggested a new class of threat, and Anthropic even admitted Claude often hallucinated results during autonomous operations. So experts asked the obvious question: how can you claim unprecedented hacking capabilities if the AI can't reliably distinguish real credentials from made-up ones? One security engineer said the report read like marketing for Anthropic's safeguards rather than legitimate research. Anthropic, meanwhile, doubled down, releasing a full "how the attack worked" narrative. They argued this proves cyber attacks are becoming drastically easier, and that threat actors can now run operations that used to require national-level resources. They warned that AI-powered attacks will only get more effective and more frequent. But critics weren't convinced. They said Anthropic made extremely serious accusations, especially about China, without providing any evidence that would normally be essential for attribution. Some even highlighted a trend. Whenever AI labs want regulators to step in, they publish fear-inducing research about existential threats or state-sponsored misuse, but never release verifying data. This controversy even pulled in industry drama, like the fact that Yao Xunyu, a legendary engineer from Tsinghua University, reportedly left Anthropic because he disagreed with the company's internal practices around research transparency and reproducibility. So now we're left with two realities. On one side, Anthropic is saying the future of cyber warfare has arrived, and that AI models can run full attack chains with almost no human involvement. On the other side, top researchers say the evidence is non-existent, the claims are exaggerated, and the story feels like a push to influence regulations. But regardless of which side you lean toward, one thing is clear: the cybersecurity landscape is changing fast. Threat actors, state-sponsored or otherwise, will absolutely weaponize AI, and simultaneously, defense teams will use AI to counter them. Both sides now have access to tools that didn't exist even a year ago. And this tension, capability versus control, transparency versus regulation, is going to shape the next decade of global cybersecurity. Alright everyone, that's the full story. Drop in your comments about what do you think of changing cybersecurity landscape and what this experience teaches us. If you like this video, then do like and share. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon. Thanks for watching. This is AI Tides, and I'll see you in the next one.